cute. Hey guys, today we're going to be watching some crazy videos. Like, it's going to be scary. So let's get into this video.
Keep you cool if you sleep hot, and even automatically detect and respond to snoring, so you get the deep, comfortable, undisturbed rest you deserve. Save up to $500 on select adjustable mattress sets. Visit Beds Express today and see how purchasing your next mattress can be as easy as 1, 2, 3.
That's weird, y'all. So let's just get into this video.
If we're going to make our new jobs work, we need to establish some boundaries. Action stuff.
So y'all, I'm getting kind of scared.
This all happened around the Thanksgiving of 2022. I was going through a divorce from my husband at the time. We'll call him Thomas. We'd been together for a little over 12 years by then. Our marriage started out well, but unfortunately we were still living in the same house until the divorce was finalized. Thomas refused to leave until it was finished, so I was unable to evict him from the house due to state laws. It was a pretty miserable situation, and uncomfortable as hell at home. It got to the point where I always felt sick. Really, it had been bad for the past few years. It was a nightmare being married to Thomas. He had completely changed from the man I met all those years ago into a total control freak. He was emotionally and physically and he had extreme anger issues. If he didn't get his way, he would completely flip out like a toddler. Out of nowhere, he would start screaming and yelling and throwing things.
Thomas, do you mind cleaning up after yourself?
Shut up! You can't say that to me! This is my house! When you start getting down on your knees more often, then we'll talk! You hear me?
It was honestly unsettling to see a grown man behave like he did. He would get so angry over the smallest things. Sometimes I wouldn't even have to say anything for him to blow up at me, so I was finally divorcing him. But ever since I filed, Thomas had been acting even more unhinged. He didn't agree with the divorce at all, and didn't want to lose control over me. I started to notice him intentionally messing the house up, like leaving...
So, I'm having a feeling that he just messed his own girlfriend up. Oh my goodness, y'all. Let's get back to this.
Food and dishes all over the place. Then he would yell at me for the house not being clean. He did anything he could to get under my skin. So every day, I waited for the divorce to be finalized, counting down the days. I stayed in my room whenever I was home, and only ever left when I needed to. I avoided Thomas as much as I possibly could, for my own sanity's sake. He was terrible. Every night I would hear him yelling and talking to himself until really late. I didn't know if he had become an alcoholic or if he had just gone psycho. Whenever he was at work, I would cook him and try to do everything before he got home. I didn't want to see him for 1 second. It was like that every day. It really started to wear on me. I felt very ill and unhealthy, and I would throw up on a daily basis. I started to become afraid that Thomas would do something awful, so I placed Ring cameras all over the house, just in case he snapped. I wanted to have evidence to use against him. It was that bad. This all went on for months. I never had anything to look forward to, so when it was close to Thanksgiving...
Throw up. Seriously, throw up. You need to go to the hospital, though.
I decided I wasn't going to let Thomas ruin that for me, too. I invited my family to come over for the holiday at a time when I knew Thomas would be gone. When he went to work the next day before Thanksgiving, I cooked pies, turkey, and a bunch of other food to prepare for the meal the next day. I worried that I wouldn't have enough time to finish all of it before he got home, but I managed it just in time. I rushed to my room just as I heard the front door unlocking. I was relieved to get all the food ready just before he got home. I looked forward to the next day all evening, until I finally went to bed. Then, at around 5 in the morning on Thanksgiving Day, I was awakened by a noise. I didn't know what it was at first, so I listened for it again. There was tussling sounds coming from downstairs, like someone was moving around. It seemed like it had to be Thomas because there was no one else in the house. The more I listened, the more I was sure that he was doing something down there. I was alarmed by this as he was usually asleep at this time. I knew whatever Thomas had going on at 5 a.m. had to be sketchy, so I decided to see what he was up to. I got out of bed as quietly as I could and slowly crept downstairs, keeping all of the lights off. I didn't want him to know that I was awake. There was no telling what he might do if he caught me spying on him. When I made it downstairs, I was surprised to see all the lights were off in the living room and kitchen. It was completely dark. I figured I must have imagined the noises and that Thomas really was asleep in his room. I didn't see why he would be walking around in the dark. I turned on the kitchen light to see if anything looked suspicious. And when I turned around, I saw Thomas sitting in the living room in the darkness.
Her voice sounds like a boy. I'm not joking. Like, bro. Yeah, I'm not joking.
Staring at me. I screamed and ran upstairs, scared out of my mind. I made it to my room and immediately locked the door behind me. I didn't know what he was up to, but I was terrified. I knew that it had something to do with me. Then I remembered the Ring cameras. I checked the footage.
Take him to jail. Oh my goodness. Take him to jail, y'all.
And saw Thomas doing something very suspicious with my Thanksgiving pies.
Creepy. Just creepy. Freaking me out.
Looked like he was adding something to them from his pocket. I texted my family about it and they told me to stay in my room until he left. So I waited a few hours, horrified that he might break down my door at any moment. But a few hours later, he finally left for work. I then took the pies down to the police station and filed a report. It was determined that the pies had been laced with some sort of poison. I tried to get the police to arrest Thomas, but they said I didn't have enough evidence. No matter how many times I called them, nothing ever happened. I confronted Thomas about poisoning the pies, but he of course denied everything. He told me that I was losing my mind. I didn't feel safe at home anymore, so I eventually left and stayed in a hotel. It wasn't until we were finally divorced a few months later that I felt safe again. I fully believe the reason I felt ill all this time was...
I feel bad, y'all. But, y'all, next video, let's go into our next video. I think that one's over.
Are you sure you know where we're going?
For the millionth time, yes, I know where it is. I've been there before.
Jeez, I was just making sure. It just feels like we're going nowhere.
We're not going nowhere. We're going to the middle of nowhere, which is just one more thing that makes this house the perfect hit. The nearest police station is 20 miles away, even if there's a new security system installed.
Wait, there might be a security system?
I don't know. Maybe. But who cares? I told you it doesn't matter.
Nick, I don't think it's a good idea to hit the same house twice, especially so soon.
Relax, Heather. No one ever expects to get robbed twice in 1 year. Besides, this place is worth the risk.
I just don't feel like taking any risks right now. It's Thanksgiving. Can't we just have a feast with our family like normal people?
Just hurry.
His face looks creepy, but what does the girl face like? That's weird. What does the girl face like? So, y'all, that's the end of our video. Bye.